what is sustainability? We need to come up with a definition of this before we really dig in deep to it. And I think what we'll find pretty quickly is that there's a huge amount of variance when it comes to people's ideas of what sustainability is and how it can function. Some people see it as a tool, some people see it as an outcome, some people are really resistant to it. It's kind of a wishy-washy word that doesn't mean a huge amount in an agreeable sense. When we talk about language as a concept, we say that a language isn't actually a language until the terms and the sounds and the symbols in that language are agreed upon by everyone and are stable as well. And it feels a little bit like sustainability isn't even really meeting that definition of being part of language at all right now. So let's just get a ground rule definition. So in 1987, a UN commission defined sustainability as development, so we could say design, which meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Don't do things today that make it worse for tomorrow. The bad news is we're making a lot of things worse. We're pretty terrible right now. I think we can all see that. Our resource destruction, our pollution, the trash in the oceans, none of this is debatable. We are definitely doing quite a lot of things with design that is making our future worse and is compromising our ability to meet our needs in the future. And I'm using the word "our" here because it is no longer about the next generation. We're forecasted to see huge shifts in our climate in the next 20 years. We are no longer forecasting out and talking about future generations or about hypotheticals. We're talking about our future. We can look at things like ecological overshoot as a way of talking about or as measuring where we're at as far as sustainability goes. We're using way more than one Earth's worth of resources every year. And what that means is, our Earth is a constantly regenerating system, and we are using the resources faster than they can be regenerated. So we would need nearly 2 full Earths right now in order to meet the needs of the planet, and that number keeps going up. Climate change, along with all of our other resource problems that we've brought upon ourselves, has actually caused social scientists to redefine an epoch or an era. We're no longer in the Holocene or the prime time for living on this earth. We've now entered a new era that they're calling the Anthropocene, meaning affected by humans. The whole era that we are living in is defined by the way humans have impacted the planetary system. We can look at how we're using our resources through the lens of something like the natural step. And essentially what we're seeing is that as we narrow the number of resources we have, or the volume of resources we have, we're narrowing in the other direction. We're also narrowing our demand upon those resources, which is squeezing us into this narrow band in the center, and we're just going to continue to be pinched as we push against it on both sides. So the natural step has also provided us, I think, with a really simple way of exploring sustainability a little bit deeper and trying to see what are the principles that we have to live by and design by in order to be sustainable. We're currently on a path that's very much of a take, make, waste. So the natural step has given us 4 principles that we can look at to measure how to improve and to give us a target. So the first of these has to do with minerals, natural resources that static in nature. We are digging things up much faster than the earth can create them. The second principle is essentially that we are making things faster than they can break down. So our trash, our volume of human designed waste is going up because the earth cannot break them down fast enough. And then the third principle is that we are destroying things faster than they can regrow. So if we can get to the point where we are no longer doing things like deforesting faster then new trees can grow. We can meet that equilibrium someday, then we can still use trees, but not be destroying our resources. And then the final piece is social. So we should be seeking to make design that does not cause harm to others. So why is this even happening? How did we get ourselves into this situation? A lot of people look at it as a population issue. Our population globally is accelerating and getting much bigger. We're over 8 billion people on the planet. So that's part of it. I mean, there are 8 billion people making waste, but that's not all of it. If you were to take all of the ants on the planet, and if you could somehow put them into a big sack and weigh them, you would find that the mass of ants on the planet is actually pretty close to equal to the mass of human flesh on the planet. So we're not, having a problem with ants. They're not destroying the planet's resources and using them up faster. It's a human problem. One of the things that makes humans unique is our ability to design, our ability to create things. And we've taken that ability and just put it on steroids by engaging in this consumerist culture. This results in this very linear model of take, make, waste, something from its origin to the end of its life, which is disposed of in landfill or incinerated. It has an end of life. The Earth system has no end of life. It is always circular. When one product or substance is finished being used, it is consumed by another organism. So nothing is wasted. We can look at a better way of considering how to design successfully by changing the model of what we find to be important. And as a culture, and this isn't unique just to America, this is a very global phenomenon, but the economy has become the be-all and end-all of success. Companies want to make more money. We consider our designs a success if they sell a lot. The economy itself and its trajectory has become our only model for measuring what is success. We can change that up by looking at the people, planet, profit model, the triple bottom line. You may have seen this before. We're not discarding the economy, we're keeping the profit in there, but we're also going to consider social issues, human issues, and also the ecological issues. And if you think about it, humans live on the earth. We are part of the biosphere, so you cannot separate us from the planet. And humans invented the economy, so you really can't separate that system from humans. So all of these things are interrelated and connected. And it's just a matter of recognizing that. That's going to be a pretty difficult challenge because humans are very resistant to change. We love inertia. We just want to continue on the path we've started on. And the idea of sustainable design, by its very definition, upends that. We have to make change. Our goal is to make change. And that's always going to make people very uncomfortable. And I think the bottom line is we really have to imagine sustainability as a human design challenge. We have to make those decisions as human designers, as members of a planetary system that will overcome the challenges that we have already placed in front of us. It's a problem of our own making, and it's up to us to solve it. And it really is an opportunity for us to envision a better future for humanity. So this is really a global movement. It's been estimated that there's more than 1 million different organizations who are working on sustainability. The issue is that we're also disparate, we're fractured. There's no organization, and that can be really exciting at the same time because it's grassroots, and so many ideas are able to be injected into this without having to follow some sort of dogma. We can choose to view from a more optimistic viewpoint that we have an exciting challenge ahead that we all can have a part in. And I think that's important when we're dealing with global challenges that can seem really dark sometimes.